Hello and welcome to another episode of Wellness. Today we focus on drug and substance abuse. What is this chronic condition that affects dozens of people from different backgrounds, socio-economic groups and ages? Let's find out. Today, we are joined by Dr. Richard Wafula, a professional counseling psychologist at the Amani Counseling Center.
Drug addiction is misuse or overly use of a chemical substance that alters the body function. So when we talk about drug addiction, we are simply referring to someone who has misused drugs, non-prescribed drugs.
Substance abuse cuts across the various demographics in Africa. Poor kids on the streets are sniffing glue. Rich kids in fancy homes are snorting cocaine. Hardcore addicts are sticking needles into their arms. And the opioid crisis that seemed to be the problem of Western societies, especially in the United States, is here in our continent.
A case in point is cough syrup, where it has a component in it that is highly addictive as well. Or even sometimes things like Piriton, where because then you are lacking sleep as a result of, it could be other underlying issues like stress, you find someone taking that Piriton to just find sleep even when it is not necessary. So it is a misuse of a chemical component, whether prescribed or non-prescribed.
Every substance isn't going to create an addict, yet some are worse than others.
There are those who inject themselves, so you'll actually start to see marks all over in their body, and for some they always want to hide because of those marks in their body as a result of injecting themselves.
And just because someone starts walking down a crooked path, it doesn't mean that they necessarily become slaves to that substance. We are fortunate to be joined by a young man whose life was almost destroyed by a variety of substances.
My journey into drug addiction started normally as most journeys with kids from upcountry joining town or city campuses. So before I joined the University of Nairobi, I had not tested alcohol, neither had I tested any other drug. But then somehow one day someone introduced me to clubbing and consumption of alcohol. I didn't know it will magnify into something that will get out of control. Like I thought it would be fun like anyone else, but then something else then happened. I don't know if it was born out of boredom or out of a lack of desire or lack of appetite or attention towards whatever I was pursuing at that time. One day, a girl whom I think she was kind of loaded, very, very rich. And I was very intrigued to know how a fellow university student was very loaded. She used to come to hostels with a car, I think a very posh car. And she would drive around, take us around in the university. And then I was intrigued. I started asking her, how do you make money and where do you find the money that you use? That you have. When we go out, you normally buy expensive alcohol. You dress expensively. You eat in high-end restaurants and all those kind of things. And yet we're just students. The meal that we afford from Klabu. There's a market at the University of Nairobi called the Klabu. That's the kind of food that we used to afford, maybe for 10 bob or 20 bob. But once you're out with this lady, she's maybe buying food was 5,000. And when I was in Croatia, I met this man who in turn introduced me to another man. It was kind of like a chain you have been introduced to.
So the introduction is about what?
It's about supplying of powders and those.
Which powders?
I think cocaine.
Okay.
In terms parts of Croatia and Kilimani. So I was supposed pick. I used to pick those things. You basically don't know what's inside.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah, you just pick a parcel here, you drop it here, you given taxi money, and then at the end of the day you're given maybe good money for a delivery, maybe 10K, maybe lots of money.
For this delivery.
Yeah, for a delivery, for 1 hour delivery.
Quite enticing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was I entered into that particular process, and I fell into it. So I started spending money on alcohol, and
Because you have enough supply.
yeah, I have enough supply. I started living lavishly at the university. Yeah, I started using whatever this, because she was so connected to these people, and again I didn't know this girl deep, or I think I just knew her by the nickname that everyone used to call her, the crew. So we became friends. She started, sharing whatever she had, because she was so close to those people that
so
I was.
give her a bit of it.
No, she will give me, because I didn't use whatever I was being given to supply. Like if I have to deliver a parcel to you,
Yes.
I will not know whatever is inside or use whatever is inside. But she had that contact to the people, and then she will get it from them, and then probably share it with me and a few other guys, and then go out, marry, and have fun, party, and everything. And before I knew it, I was skipping classes. I was not attending my laboratory sessions. I was going to club. I remember one of them was I'm a football fan,
Yeah.
and there was this particular game Manchester United was playing with, I think, Bayern Munich, and then we lost. It was a Champions League game, and I had come towards the game at it's called Nairobi Club, something. Yeah. And then we lost, and then I went out and bought a bottle of whiskey, 2 of them, and then just drank all of them dryly, because I would kind of not really depressed, but I know it because my team had lost.
Yes.
So I started walking with that particular beer on the street back to the hostels, and by the time I got to my hostel, I lost my conscience and just fell. And I knew I wanted to be home, close to my family, to get help. Yes, because I'd made that mind that I was not going back to school. I had made that mind that Nairobi was very, very rough for me.
Yes.
I made that in my mind, like I would have become a total wreck a total alcoholic wreck if I remained in the city. So the only place that I would find maybe solace and find my feet was in the village.
Yes.
But what I didn't know is, like, now in the village there's cheap alcohol. Extremely cheap.
Extremely cheap.
Yeah, it's really cheap. Shanghai and because I come from Western. So now, with Western now, like, you're a man or a boy, you have your own house.
Yes.
So you sleep away from your parents. So
Yes.
I will keep the local brews, because now I couldn't get the whiskeys and whatever in the village. Yeah, it's not very hard to get them. Yeah, plus I no longer have that source of income to gather money. So I will make pact with those guys in the village, those drunkards, and they will sneak in alcohol into my house, in my Simba, and I will drink. So I thought it will get easier, but it just got, bad, worse and worse. And then I found myself now sneaking at home to go into those alcohol dens. Like, I remember one day I will sneak at night to go and smoke cigarettes, because now it was very hard to find weed in the village at that time, but you will find cigarettes. So I'll sneak from the house and go into maize plantation, because in the village there's vast plantations. So so you go there and then smoke. And I remember one thing that my grandmother, because I was raised with my grandmother, and she was the one who is that religious person, extremely religious. So it's like, there's someone who smokes, and she was like, people have been smoking this home, and now they lace their smokes with evil spirits, and now those evil spirits found their way into the case of my grandson, Adia Kacha. Now she was blaming the people who were puffing whatever smoke into the air to confuse me to drop out of school. but she didn't know that whoever was smoking, going to hide into maize plantation smoke was me.
Yes.
Was me. So it was a very difficult place for me to be at that particular time. So what happened was my grandmother now forced me to go to church, because she was very understanding compared to all my relatives. Yeah, they were all my relatives were kind of hard on me. They were very judgmental, very extremely hard on me to go back to school, but I did want to go back to school. But again, I didn't tell them why I did want to go back to school. But I was just telling them that no, I'm done with school, I don't want to go back. It was very dangerous for me. I don't want to go back because I was telling myself, if I go back to the University of Nairobi, I'm going to die.
Yes.
I'm going to definitely.
You're scared of this. The people used to
yeah, the people and the alcohol, because it's very easy to and the friends. Yeah. So and then there was that particular element of crime maybe that I only talk, because if you're meeting these people, these particular friends, most of them are actually not students. Yeah, they were just guys who used to come and hang at the University of Nairobi, because it was open for people to come. Yeah. It was a day actually I drank and then I slept inside sugarcane plantation.
Inside the sugarcane plantation?
Yeah, it
all
was
night?
All night, yeah. So what really made me change was that desire to be a role model and to be a good person to the kids that I was leading in church. So it happened for one good year that I was the chairman, that I had no other choice but to stop. So I had stopped taking cocaine, definitely I had stopped taking bang, but I would smoke cigarettes and now those cheap brews. So eventually I think church, my grandmother forcing me to go to church really.
That's helped you.
Yeah, that's what helped me.
And finally you were able to completely...
Yes.
It has been decades since Ongoma stopped smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol and taking a variety of drugs.
I haven't smoked cigarettes since 2016.
Since 2016?
Yes, I haven't used bang since 2015, I think, yeah. And then I haven't used cocaine since I was since I left Nairobi in 2014. I lost contact with everyone, that I don't even remember my friends on campus. Totally.
He is the author of The Campus Exile, a book that describes his crisis. He hopes that his story will help others avoid the same tragic situation.
So when people become abusers and eventually become addicts, the only thing I can tell them is to have the desire. People will tell you that maybe there's something that's making you drink. There's maybe depression, there's this family problems, there's whatever. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that desire within your inner soul that you want to stop this, you want to change and become a different person, then you're never going to achieve whatever you want to achieve.
That's amazing, Sakwa. Thank you so very much for sharing this. Of course, like I said, there are so many people who are struggling with this, but they're silent about it. And I really hope that even the society can treat addicts much better.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so, because I think addiction and the way people are putting so much emphasis on depression and to help people who are depressed and stressed, it's the same way that we need now to start putting the same emphasis on people who are using addiction, because at some point this thing is normally beyond someone's control. Yeah, because you just don't know whatever is pushing you there. But maybe when we get a society that now gives you an environment where they don't judge you, but they create an environment where you are free to speak out, you're free to share whatever that is eating you up, then I think it's going to be easy for us to help these people who are struggling with addiction. Yeah.
If you or a loved one is struggling with substance abuse, it is important that you seek treatment. Thank you for watching Wellness with Wanjiru. My name is Wanjiru Thuku. Until next time, goodbye.